Hey, how you doing today? I am Tequila Coleman. In today's video, I'm going to share a dream the Lord gave me. I just got the interpretation of it today. Okay. But listen, don't open the door. Do not open the door. Okay. I want to clear something up as well. So some of you have been asking me, how will you know when God is sending your spouse back? And I have given the answer. God will communicate it to you in a dream. He will communicate it however way God communicates to you, right? Let me clear this up, okay? um, the way how you would know that God is sending your prodigal spouse back, yes, he will communicate it in a dream. But when God gives you the dream, I need you to know exactly how to interpret a dream. I need you to take your dream to God and ask God, give me the interpretation of this dream so that you're not opening up the door to your prodigal spouse at a wrong time. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm saying this because God has given me two dreams of my spouse calling me. And the first dream, it was just straight to the point. I just saw, I have an iPhone. So the first dream I seen my spouse name run across the screen with someone calling, and I swiped the phone and answered. That was the first dream. The second dream, which I'm gonna tell you here, I knew I'm gonna break the dream down, but I knew I felt uneasy about the dream because of the things that was taking place in the dream. And so and I waited, and I was waiting on God to give me the interpretation. He gave it to me today. I'm gonna break this dream down, but I say all that to say, if you have a dream that your spouse is about to call you or returning to you, before you open up that door, you want to take that dream to God and ask God, what does this dream mean? Okay, what are you communicating to me in this dream? When your spouse show up at your door, at your house, ask God, is it time for me to open up this door? Because we are in a season, we are in an hour where the devil is mad at God's children. He's mad that we are making progress, and he is now trying to use our spouses, okay? The ones we've been praying for, he's sending them back to behave in deceitful ways, okay? To deceive us, to have us think that they have repented, that they are coming back for all the right reason, when really it is the devil who is sending them back. Okay, so let me just start with this dream. Okay, so I had this dream November the 6th this year, 2022. And in the dream, I was in an unknown house. Let's just start with that. I was in a house. I didn't know. I had the vibe in the dream as if I was moving into. I had just moved into this house, right? And I was in the living room, standing on a step stool, because I had a picture of my spouse and I in my hand, and I was getting ready to put the picture up on the wall. Okay, and so right when I was about to hang the picture up on the wall, my daughter runs into the living room and hands me my phone. She hands me my phone, and I looked at the phone and I saw my spouse's name across the screen. It was still ringing, and then I swiped and I said hello. When I said hello, I couldn't hear him. I couldn't hear him speaking, right? Because my TV, it was up so loud, right? And so I told my oldest son to turn the TV down. So he grabbed the remote control, he turned the TV down, but the volume stayed the same. Okay. My oldest son grabbed the remote control. He tried to turn the TV down, but no, he did turn it down. Like I saw the numbers on the TV going down, like the volume, but the volume stayed the same. So I still heard the noise, right? And so I left the living room and went into the bedroom. Um, and it was almost as if I had surround sounds just in the bedroom, and I could still hear the sound. The sound was to show, shut up, Chicago PD. That's my favorite show. I love to watch Chicago PD. But that's what I kept hearing. It was blasting. It was like surround sound. And I kept hearing it. And I even heard it in the bedroom. And it was like, it was as if it was coming through some speakers, right? And so I just held the phone, okay, as I tried to figure out how to turn the TV down, right? Um, and let me see, I'm looking over my notes. Um, and I think that's when I woke up because I couldn't figure out how to turn the TV down, how to stop the noise so that I can hear my spouse, that's on the other end, right? And I woke up, right? So God just gave me the revelation today because after I had that dream in November, I woke up and I was like, why this? Why that? Why was I in an unknown house? Why did I hear Chicago PD? Why I couldn't hear my spouse? I had all of these questions. So I knew in my spirit, something's not right about this dream, right? And God gave me the interpretation today. So Chicago PD, my favorite show, right? Chicago PD, I'm gonna just read the about description. It's a Chicago PD intelligence unit led by Sergeant Hank Boyd, investigates the city's most vulnerable offenses: drug trafficking, organized crime, high profile murders, and other large scale felonies. And it just goes on to just name, the people who play on the show, right? And so I said, wow, okay. Because the word that stood out to me was investigate. And so I just allowed the Lord to lead me into this interpretation. To investigate means to examine a crime, problem, statement carefully, especially to discover the truth. Now, remember when I told you the dream started with me being in a unknown house. I got the vibe in the dream that this was my house I had just moved into, and I was in the living room standing on that stool, that step stool, with a picture of me and my spouse in my hand, and I was getting ready to hang this picture up on the wall in the living room, right? And so, but I never got the chance to hang the picture up because that's when my daughter ran into the living room, handed me the phone because it was ringing, right? So, and I don't know what I did with the picture after that because I just remember just me looking at the phone, trying to answer it. What I did answer it, unable to hear my spouse's voice. That was God telling me, before you attach that picture on the wall, before you get attached to that, right? Because when you hang up pictures on the wall, that represent, love, that represent family, right? Happy home, right? God is saying before you get attached to that picture, right? That picture you have in your mind, that picture you about to hang up on that wall, I got some investigation to do. I got to still examine that heart, right? Because it's still deceitful. It's still hurting. It's still hanging out with the enemy. It's still backsliding. It's still participating in things that it know it shouldn't be doing. It's still an enemy to God. So God was telling me in that dream, He's like, no, no, no. Before you get attached to this picture, I still have some more investigation to do with your spouse concerning their heart because it's still deceit in there. Okay. And the reason why I couldn't hear his voice when I answered the phone, of course, I knew what that meant. That was the enemy blocking communication, right? But that also could have been the Lord telling me, when your spouse calls you, do not entertain that conversation because it's still deceit in the heart. And this is why I started off this video by saying, even if God give you a dream of your spouse calling you, before you get excited and think, okay, they about to come back, they ready, check with God, get the interpretation from the Lord concerning the dream, okay? Because that was my original thought when I got this second dream. Remember I said the first dream I had in August, it was like August the 30th. I had that first dream where I saw his name go across my phone screen, and I swiped the call and answered it. That was the first dream. And then for me to turn around in November and get another dream, basically of my spouse calling me. At first, I was like, okay, the call is coming, but I just knew how I felt in my spirit after I woke up from that dream. I said, no, the enemy is in operation in this dream. I couldn't hear him. The communication is blocked. I'm in an unknown house, Chicago PD playing, right? I had all of these things going on, and I knew in my spirit, I say something ain't right. It's not right. And God just gave me the interpretation today that God is still investigating the heart. He is still going through his judgment season. So I'm sharing this dream for those of you who resonate with this dream. Okay, it's not for everyone. This is for those of you whose spouse is going through their judgment. Okay, their judgment season. Do not get caught up or impatient, because when your spouse, because judgment season is not over, they still going to lose everything. Okay, the dreams God been giving you. Okay, I don't know about you, but God been showing me, my spouse is the things that's going to take place in his life, during judgment season. So God keep on telling me, oh, you're going to see a tequila take place, right? He keep telling me this. And so when your spouse continue to go through the judgment season, and now when they start losing things, they're going to try to run back to you. They're going to try to reach out to you for help because they in a season of loss. But that is not the time for you to help them. God will tell you. He will let you know when it's time for you to go back and like accept them back. He will tell you that. But you got to make sure you're checking in with the Lord, okay? And this is why God gave me this dream, because he already know what is up ahead, what is to come, okay? And so the message here is God is still investigating the heart. He's still examining the heart because it's still deceitful, right? It's still deceitful, you know? And so it's still some things, that's going on in the heart that God has to purify. God is putting that fear of the Lord back in them. They still fear man, they still bound by people's opinion. So God said, okay, I'm not done examining this heart. Okay. I'm not done, revealing truth to where there's lies. I'm not done. Right. So make sure before you accept your spouse back, you take him, the dream, whatever it is, back to the Lord, and you get the final say so from the Lord if you should open that door to your spouse. Okay? So that's what I wanted to share with you in today's video. God is doing some investigation. The heart is still deceitful. The heart is still, really an enemy to God. And God's not done with these prodigals. Okay? His word would not return back to him void. You're going to see exactly what God said come to pass, but you got to be patient in this process, and you got to keep God at the center of this whole entire love story. Okay. So that is it. I am Tequila Coleman. I'll talk to you all real soon. Take care.